Lesson 4, the Daily Scrum. In the last lesson, you learned about sprint planning. Now that the user stories and associated tasks to work on for a sprint have been identified, it's time for the Scrum team to do their magic. In this lesson, you learn how daily Scrum meetings encourage transparency, collaboration, and productivity in Agile teams. Agile teams using Scrum have daily meetings where they focus on their progress. Daily Scrum meetings are held in the same place and the same time each day, usually in the morning to set the expectations for the day. These meetings are often called stand-ups because the teams stand for the duration of the meeting, which is limited to 15 minutes. Standing encourages the team not to get too comfortable and to focus on the meeting's purpose without getting sidetracked. All Scrum team members, including the Scrum Master and the Product Owner, are expected to attend the daily Scrum. Other stakeholders, like executives and salespeople, are welcome to attend, but their attendance is not required, and there are rules regarding their involvement. Scrum has been known to refer to an old fable on what it would be like for a pig and a chicken to provide a breakfast of ham and eggs. Obviously, the pig's cost to provide ham for the breakfast is much higher than the cost for the chicken to provide the eggs. In Scrum, the Scrum team members and product owner represent the pigs and their commitment, while other stakeholders, such as executives and the sales team, represent the chickens. Generally, the pigs are those who participate in daily Scrum meetings, where the chickens are asked to be observers. Note that Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schwaber, co-developers of the Scrum process, published an update to the Scrum Guide where the pigs and chickens fable is no longer referenced. But my experience is that the rules regarding non-Scrum team members being observers only during the daily Scrum meetings is still the norm. A standard Scrum format has been established and is widely used among Agile teams. Team members take turns providing the following information: what I did yesterday, what I plan to do today, and any impediments. Although team members should share any impediments they're facing, the daily Scrum is not used for problem solving. If another team member has input on an impediment or someone wants to ask for help on an impediment, that's encouraged, but the problem-solving sessions should be done later after the daily Scrum is over. One of the Scrum Master's many roles is to keep the daily Scrum meetings on track. If any team members are getting sidetracked, the Scrum Master will ask them to take the discussion offline. The Scrum Master may also provide metrics on where the team is related to their sprint goals. This is often presented in the form of a burn-down chart. A burn-down chart shows how quickly the team is burning through the work for that sprint. It can also show the effective decisions, like what happens when extra work is added to the sprint after sprint planning is completed. A typical Agile burn-down chart has two axes, one for effort and one for time. One line on the chart shows the ideal work burn-down if the work was equally divided among each day in the sprint. The other line shows the actual work burn-down. For burn-down charts to be accurate, it's important that all team members record their work each day. In addition to burn-down charts, Scrum boards are often used to visually show the progress being made over the course of a sprint. Scrum boards are physical boards, like a whiteboard, chalkboard, or corkboard, where user stories and associated tasks are written on pieces of paper and stuck to the board. The pieces of paper are physically moved from one phase to the next as the work for them is completed. Some common phases include to do, in progress, in testing, and done. Teams may add or adjust these phases based on their needs. For example, they may insert a status for peer review before an item gets moved to testing. Let's take a look at what the daily stand-up might look like for our project team. When it was Jenny's turn, she reported, "Yesterday, I contacted marketing regarding the approved CSS and style guide to use for the template. Unfortunately, I was told that although they've identified a few colors they like and a font they like, no one has an approved style guide or CSS file to use. Today, I plan to present marketing with a few templates to choose from to see what they like. My impediment is that I will have to develop a CSS from scratch instead of just importing one that was already approved." When it was Lynn's turn, he reported, "Yesterday I contacted marketing to see if they had someone available to work with me on the logo. They had an old logo that showed a car racing in front of a world with flames coming out of the tailpipe. Although the idea is good, the artwork is really old and not good quality. Today, I'm going to work on a new sketch to present to marketing tomorrow. No impediments. When it was Pat's turn, she reported, "Yesterday, I met with marketing to discuss what they want me to say on the homepage of the website. They told me that they're in the process of building out a value proposition, so they're still working on identifying their target audience, the main competitors, and defining their corporate personality. They said they would identify their top 3 competitors by the end of the day yesterday. Today, I have another meeting with marketing to look at websites of their top 3 competitors. No impediments." Now let's look at the burn down so far for this sprint. The sprint in our case study is 3 weeks long, and the total estimated work adds up to 15 days. The blue line represents the ideal work trend, and the red line represents the actual work. So far, it looks like the team got stuck on something on the second day of the sprint. From days 2 to 5, no progress was recorded, making them behind schedule. Finally, on the 7th day, then they started catching up, and then by day 10, they were back on schedule. If they continue at this pace, they will get all of their sprint backlog items done on time. Now let's look at the Scrum board. The team is 10 days into a 15-day sprint. So far, there's 1 task in the Done column, design a web page template using approved CSS and style guide. There are also 3 tasks in testing, 3 in progress, and 2 that haven't been started, still in the to-do column. Once all of the tasks that make up a user's story are in the Done column, then the story is also considered done and can be placed in the Done column as well. As the sprint progresses, obviously you want to see more tasks over in the far right Done column on the Scrum board, and you want to see your red line matching your blue line on your burn down chart. By checking in at the daily Scrum every day, there are no surprises, and the team can quickly identify if they are falling behind and try to make a correction before it's too late. 3 weeks sure goes by fast. Jenny, Lynn, and Pat have been working hard on all the items in the sprint backlog, and the sprint's over. Now it's time to show the stakeholders what they've accomplished and review how the sprint went. The next lesson covers the sprint review and sprint retrospective processes.